What's up, guys? Welcome to another pay-to-win edition of the Elder Scrolls Online. As you all know, they put some super OP things in the game, and they're gonna do the same thing as usual. Once the new update dies down, where they sell less copies, they're gonna nerf these antiquities to the ground. They always do that. They've been doing this for 7 years. They're pretty good at nerfing things, but fixing the game, they're really bad at it. Some people call them bug Tesla in zone chat. Now, the reason why I quit this game a couple months ago was because I was getting these errors all the damn time. And just so you know, I have a very good internet connection with a ping of 14, and I have 360 megabytes upload and download. So if the game lags or whatever, it's their server. But if you tell them the game lags, they're going to tell you it's your internet connection. It's never their server. Anyways, I'm going to grade this game out of 10, and for every bug I will find, I will be generous. I will only remove 0.5 points per bug that I find. First bug that I encountered is this lead that drops from a boss that in certain instances does not respawn. You can wait an hour and a half, the boss will simply not respawn. The next bug that I found, which is not new, it's been there for 3 years, the stamina recovery glitch where your stamina just doesn't go back up, but it doesn't affect your gameplay, guys. It's normal, okay? It does not affect your gameplay. That's why we're not fixing it. It's been there for 3 years. Yes, it affects your gameplay. It's annoying. Anyways, the next bug. Still get perma-slowed. Sometimes for no reason, your character gets super slow for nothing. Your character just moves extremely slowly. You know, I can't explain it any other way than that. Another bug is when you whisper someone, you invite them to play cards for no reason. So I'm trying to whisper someone, and all of a sudden I whisper the person, and then I invite him to play cards, which I would absolutely not do because this card game is just trash. Next bug. The visuals on weapons don't match. Sometimes you're on dual wield, and then you're going to go to your back bar where you have your 2H weapon in your hands, and you still see your weapons as if they were dual wield weapons instead of a 2H weapon. And the stupid bug where you stay stuck in combat with people or NPCs where you can't mount. There's no reason for you not to be able to mount because you're in combat, but this game made it so that you can't mount if you're in combat. You can't port if you're in combat, but you will stay in combat with people sometimes for 15, 20 minutes. You'll have to log out to get out of combat. Your game crashes or freezes when you're exiting your champion points. The game gives you a blue screen or it will simply freeze for no reason. It's been doing that for a while. It's still there. Another bug, the load time for NPCs is still delayed. You'll go somewhere and get NPCs, even though you've been there for 10 minutes, you'll have to wait for the merchant to spawn for 5, 6, 7 seconds for what? I don't know, because the game's trash. And then there's this lag that's always there in trials, in PvP or other things, whether you're doing dolmens or whatever, and there's like 5 or 6 people there, you're lagging like crazy. Sometimes when you put your test dummies, when you put them on the floor and you log out, for some reason your test dummies disappear, the bug is still there. The game crashes while you're logging out when you're in PvP. Another stupid bug that's been there for a while, I have no idea why it does that. When you log out to swap characters, the game crashes. The game crashes for no reason, and many reasons in this game. Like I showed you earlier, all the blue screens I got. The game just crashes and you don't know why. In PvP, the damn camp, sometimes you respawn at a camp and you will stay there until you see 3 times in your screen. This is a usually long load screen. Seriously, you can stay there for 15 minutes, man. Next, you got another bug that is so stupid. I don't know why this is still there. When your cursor is moving away, when you're trying to click on a way shrine, the cursor just moves away from the way shrine, so you can't actually click on it. It does that a lot. I actually thought that my controller was broke, and when I plugged in another one, it was still doing it. So I'm 100% sure it's a bug in the game, and it was happening to other players, but other players said that it was not happening to them. Anyways, the loss of penetration for no reason. You look at your penetration, and you lose 3,000 penetration for absolutely no reason. That's very stupid that it does that. For bug number 16, your screen occasionally just turns black for no reason. You know, it's like your game freezes and turns black and then comes back where you see the colors and shit. And the last bug, when there's no animation while you're holding block. So you're pressing block and nothing happens, and then if you press on the X to roll dodge while holding block, you're gonna roll dodge. But if you press block, there's no animation. So that is bug number 17, and this concludes all the bugs I found in this game. So the final score for this game is 1.5 out of 10, and that is garbage. Fix your damn game. You should be ashamed to have a bug that I can find 17 bugs in it, and there's probably even more bugs that I forgot that other people know that I could add in this list, like, easily. Now, on top of the pay-to-win stuff that they made in this update, the new leads, new players can't even farm them. Most new players won't even be able to get these leads right away, so it's kind of stupid if you are trying to get new players to play the game and get these OP mythics. They'll have to do a bunch of things that they can't do to actually get them. So it's kind of stupid. And the leads that are attached to dailies that you can only do one time per 24 hours per character, this is very stupid because you can't actually farm it. It's not everyone that has like 5 or 6 characters. Anyways, just the fact that they sell us an update with bugs that they were made aware of 2 months ago during the PTS. Like, they sold us an update with a bunch of bugs that they know are in the game, but they still sell you the update. It doesn't matter. They want to make money. They don't give a crap about what players think, you know? Anyways, let's go check out this card game that they put in the game. These people who created this game actually sat at a table and tried to invent a new card game, and the card game's actually trash. They're literally trying to imitate The Witcher. With the housing, they were imitating The Sims. Now they're imitating The Witcher. But Gwent is actually a fun game. This one is just trash. Like, who wants to learn how to play a new card game in a game where you're supposed to kill bosses? Anyways, let me know if you understand the game just by watching this tutorial. This game is so stupid, I just can't believe it. They deserve an award for being stupid.
Right. The essence of the game is to buy cards to add to your play deck. Each of us will use our play deck to score prestige, until one of us gets enough prestige to win. Lots of cards, eh? The ones on your side of the table are yours. The ones on my side are mine. The cards in the middle are what we call the tavern. We each claim cards from the tavern to improve our play decks and earn enough prestige to win. You'll take the first turn. Let's both draw our starting hands. Each of your cards have a coin value, see? You can use their coin value to buy cards into your play deck from the tavern, the center of the table. Try to keep track of the value of the cards in your hand. Each card has a cost, a suit, and an effect. If I were you, well, this card here seems like the right one for you to buy with the coin that you have, so claim it. When you buy a card, you subtract its cost from your coin total, and you get the card. Then a new card replaces that card in the tavern. You still have enough coin to buy another card, so let's do that. Now, you can't play a card you bought right away. When you buy a card, it goes into a cooldown pile here, see? You can see at a glance what card suits are in your cooldown pile. It looks like you don't have enough coin to buy any other cards, and there's nothing else you can do at the moment. When that happens, you signal that your turn is over. Any resources you have at the end of your turn will be cleared once your turn is over, except prestige, that is. Once your turn ends, you discard your cards and draw 5 new ones. You can start to plan your next turn while I take mine. That said, you should always keep an eye on what your opponent is up to on their turn. They might buy a card or take an action that will force you to revise your plans. So now it's my turn. I'll control the table until I signal the end of my turn. See if you can figure out my strategy based on my actions. Well, well. The cards you drew gave you both gold and power. Power has two uses. The first is combat, but it also turns into prestige at the end of your turn. Remember, earning prestige is how you win. Remember when I told you that your currencies get cleared when you end your turn? Well, power doesn't carry over between turns. But when you do signal the end of your turn, any power you have left over turns into prestige. Good to know, eh? See these little fellows? They're our patrons. Each deck comes with its own patron, and they play an important role in how the deck works. See? Each patron has something they want. A price, let's call it. They also have something to offer. A reward. Pay a patron's price and you'll get their reward. You have to pay the price all at once and you usually get the reward immediately. Try paying one of these patrons. Whichever one you choose to pay will offer you a boon. Just keep in mind, you're only allowed to pay one patron per turn. They can get a little jealous. The patron you just paid, notice anything different about them? They favour you now. All patrons start in a neutral bent, and then show favour to whoever pays them first. Of course, you can pay a patron that favours your opponent. If you do, that patron will become neutral. Pay them again on a later turn, and then they'll favour you. And here's a tip. If you ever can get all patrons on the table to favour you, you'll win the game, even if you have less prestige than your opponent. Just one more thing to keep an eye on. All right, you need to draw new cards, but your deck is empty. Now we shuffle your cooldown pile, and that becomes your new draw pile. You might draw cards you bought last turn, as well as those you started with. Your cooldown pile is empty. That means all the cards you started with or bought during play are now in your draw pile. Right, it's my turn again. I'm going to draw some coin, use it to buy a card, and draw some power from my play deck, which will become prestige when my turn ends. Just like your turn, only, more experienced. Those cards you drew can trigger a combo. See how they have extra effects if you draw another card that matches their suit? Luckily, you bought cards with the suit you need to trigger these combos. Some of the most powerful effects on cards come from combos, and a card will tell you how much of each suit you need to activate its combo effect. Great players always try to trigger combos, so keep track of those suits. We're closing in on the end. I can tell by keeping track of the prestige we've earned. For this practice match, we're keeping the total small, but in a real game, you'll need more prestige to win. and tell him you bested me. Just don't get cocky.